go.
Oh, awesome. I should have given you a couple more minutes and good. All right,
Oh,
everybody, we're
you're
gonna
all
go ahead and
good.
get started on the next session. Our next speaker is Johnny Els, a very familiar face here at Seven Eagle. How are you today, Johnny?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm glad it's Friday. I went out for an adult swim team at Lifetime Fitness. So I went there this morning, did that for a little bit, and then I swam for about 30 minutes, and now I'm here. So feeling great. How are you doing, Ted?
Doing well. So fitness, fitness, fitness. Well, what are you going to talk to us about today, Johnny?
Yeah, so I'm gonna just I have a little presentation that I'd like to share, but my name's Johnny, everybody. I'm the founder of TruFit Academy, and I'm not here to look to hire anybody, but I am here to talk a little bit about health and fitness and what a lot of veterans are struggling with as they transition out, and how we can kind of move forward with that, not just with our own health and fitness, but also with our mindset around kind of who are we're going to be moving forward. So, um, yeah, if you guys have any questions as we go throughout the presentation, please feel free to write them down. We're going to do a little Q&A at the end. But the main goal here today, guys, is just to kind of educate you on some healthy habit, like lifestyle habits that you guys can start incorporating. If your goal is to lose weight or get stronger or have more energy or more confidence, those are the types of things that we're going to be talking about today. I'm going to be giving you guys some realistic, practical action steps that you guys can start implementing today. So I'm also going to be touching some emotional chords with a lot of people here today. So get ready because it's going to be fun.
Sounds good.
Cool. So if you don't mind, Ted, I'm going to just share my screen and then we can get going if that's cool with you.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. So I've been coming on here about once a month for the last 6 to 8 months or so, and a lot of times I see familiar faces, but often I see new faces. And so if you're new here, if you have not seen me before, hello, and thank you guys so much for being here with Seven Eagle and with Ted. Um, they're amazing. I know their skill bridge is amazing, and so. Again, if you guys have any questions as we go through, please feel free to raise your hand, write them down. We're going to go through some of that stuff at the end, okay? But a lot of you guys are either in the process of transitioning or already transitioning out. And so now we're at a point, it's like, well, what's next in my life, right? What is my next mission? And your next mission is yourself, right? You've been serving your country for the last few years, 10, 20 years, whatever it is. But now that we're transitioning out, where most of us are in our 30s or 40s, we're starting a family, we're looking for a job, we're trying to figure out the next step in life. And if my main message today, guys, if you are not taking care of your own body and your own mind, then nothing else in your life is going to go as well as you would hope. So, today, guys, we're going to be talking about how to build a sustainable civilian life that's going to keep you healthy, energized, confident, and mission ready for whatever that mission is for you. All right? Cool, cool, cool. All right, so a little bit about me, guys. Um, I grew up in Texas. I'm an Aggie, and I moved up here to Colorado a couple years ago with my girlfriend at the time. Now we've been married for almost 4 years. But I came up here to start my professional coaching career. I became a certified personal trainer, certified health coach. I got my degree in kinesiology, which is the study of human development. I coached the A&M triathlon team, and we ended up going off to place third at nationals in 2016. And then 3 years later, I founded the TruFit Academy. And over the last couple of years, guys, my business has changed quite a bit. I used to work with professional triathletes and former Division One athletes for a long time. Uh, you know, while they were competing and after they were competing, as they started transitioning into just living a healthier lifestyle. But that's changed a lot over the last couple of years. So now I'm focusing a lot more on busy parents and veterans and high performers like CEOs, executives, things like that, because a lot of these people are performing under stress and they have a lot of anxiety and they have a lot of chaos going on in their lives. And it's really hard to focus on yourself when you have so many other things going on in life that are a priority. Okay. But with the TruFit Academy, we've kind of transitioned a little bit into helping people understand how you can live a healthy lifestyle, stay on track with your fat loss goals, stay on track with your mindset, and build a motivating and confident life that's going to serve you long term. Okay. So over the last couple of years, I've helped over 200 people collectively lose over 3,000 pounds. And that is without going on a restrictive diet or committing to any kind of like extreme programs that are usually short term. Okay. In 2021, I was featured in the New York City Journal as a top coach, which was incredible because that just got me connected with a lot of other organizations, with Seven Eagle Group, with a Legion Vet, and I started my own podcast. If you guys, you can go check that out. And this has just been my whole life, and I'm so passionate about this topic because I know a lot of people do struggle with this type of stuff. But that does not mean you're a failure, and this does not mean that there's no hope for you moving forward. Okay. So at TruFit, we mainly focus on building realistic, healthy habits that are going to fit into your life instead of take over your life. Okay. A lot of you might have stresses and things that we're trying to get done on a day-to-day basis, and adding a workout routine or a nutrition routine on top of that is just going to create more stress, which is just going to add to the difficulties of trying to be in shape. Okay. So the core message today, guys, is when you are serving, right, you are trained to thrive under that structure. That structure was provided for you, right? You had that accountability. You were part of a unit. They were telling you what to do, where to go, what to eat, all that stuff, right? But in the civilian world, no one's doing that for you. Okay, so this presentation is to show you how to take back control for yourself, rebuild that inner discipline in your health, and create a structure that's actually going to keep you strong, energized, and confident long term. Okay, why is this important? Because you want to identify who you want to be in the future. Okay, not only for yourself but for your loved ones, for your family, for your career. Okay, then it's about understanding how we can realistically plan that out and get to where you want to be. Okay, so quickly, guys, I want to talk about while you were serving, you had that structure, you had those schedules, the standards, that accountability that kept you on your toes. You guys had like quarterly fitness tests that you had to pass, right? So those kind of kept you accountable. It kept you mission ready, like you had daily goals that you had to set for yourself to meet those standards, right? Your identity was clear. You knew who you were. You knew what your jobs were. You were part of that unit. You were part of that mission. And you were part of that camaraderie that kept you on your feet, right? Also, while you were serving, there were probably a lot of personal emotions that were contained or maybe even shut behind closed doors, maybe because you either weren't allowed to feel those things or certain feelings could make you seem weak or emotionally unstable or anything like that. Okay. But now that we're transitioning out, that structure pretty much disappeared overnight. Okay. Um, and you also get that sense of that my mission is now over. Okay. And you go from feeling like you belonged to something that was bigger than you to now being completely on your own, isolated, not knowing who you are, where you want to go, and a little confused or frustrated with, I don't know what's next for me. Okay. I've had conversations with hundreds of veterans after many of my presentations like this, and 90% of veterans feel the same way. So please understand, guys, when I'm talking about this kind of stuff, you are not alone. Many veterans struggle with the same thing. And unfortunately, not many of you want to reach out for help because it feels like weakness or it feels like you're not good enough to do it on your own, which is not weakness. Actually, reaching out for help is one of the bravest and strongest things that you can do because that means you actually care about yourself and you care about your future. Okay. So, what are the realistic realities of life after service? Most veterans struggle with not having any kind of motivation because you don't have any kind of tests that you have to pass, right? Maybe you don't know how to structure your routine, right? And if you don't know how to structure your routine, then there's no hope of actually sticking to the routine. Okay? You don't have any kind of consistency anymore because you don't have any accountability or friends or a unit like telling you like, hey, we got to go do this, right? And because of that, you might lose sense of who you are, what your purpose is, your identity, and all of these things can eventually lead to poor habits like overeating or over drinking or drugs or things like that. Okay. So these are the types of things that we can spiral into if we don't have that structure or that accountability embedded into our lifestyle. Okay. So, what happens when the structure disappears and we start adopting poor habits? Okay. The stress starts replacing that structure. Poor sleep, weight gain, drinking, feeling alone. Okay. These are all things that are going to contribute to depression. Most veterans gain anywhere between 20 to 50 pounds in the first year to 2 years of not being in the service. Okay. Your clothes don't fit as well as you'd like them to be. Okay. Your energy drops, your confidence fades, and the motivation to do anything about it, guys, completely goes out the window. Okay. And then what happens? Mental health struggles start to surface, right? I don't like how I look. I don't like how I feel. I'm feeling down or lost, or I'm not good enough to do any of this on my own. Okay. A lot of these things are emotions that are not on the surface level, and a lot of people don't like going into their emotions because it's scary or you don't really want to, it's not comfortable, right? But a lot of the veterans that have signed up with me in the past or have watched my presentation in the past have reached out to me separately, not on the call, but like literally separately, saying this was so unbelievably helpful and eye-opening for me because I do have a lot of suppressed emotions. I don't feel 100% confident in my body, how I look, how I feel, and I don't know what I need to do about it. Okay. And after a few months or a few years, you don't even recognize who you are anymore. Okay. And on a deeper emotional level, guys, you miss being part of something bigger than you, miss being part of that mission and that brotherhood to keep you accountable. You crave that structure and that purpose, but pride or guilt or shame or uncertainty keeps you from asking for help. Okay. And some of those buried emotions start to resurface: frustration, self doubt. Okay. This is really hard to talk about, but some veterans that I've spoken to have talked about being molested or talked down to or anything like that. And that can really mess your mind up for sure. So now that you're on your own and you don't have any of those people lifting you up anymore, some of those emotions might start to resurface, and now you don't think that you're good enough to do anything either for yourself or for your family or for your career. Okay. So these are all very real things that I've heard from veterans in the past, and I'm sure a lot of you might be feeling the same way. Okay. Now, we're going to flip the script here. Okay. We're going to talk about the TruFit method. We're going to talk about a 3-step framework that's going to help you kind of pull yourself out of that depressing mode and onto a path that's going to lead you into a happier, healthier future. I call this the TruFit method. Okay. Because we're not talking about restrictive diets. We're not talking about extreme cardio or ridiculous routines that you're unable to keep up with. We're talking about a healthy, sustainable lifestyle that's going to continue to help you for years and years and years and years. Okay? Step number 1 is you need to reclaim that purpose. Reclaim your mission, okay? Because your mission hasn't ended, it has now evolved. Okay? You need a new reason to wake up in the morning. Okay? The new mission is you. Okay? It's about defining who you are without the uniform. Okay? It's about figuring out what your strengths are outside of the uniform. Okay? And this is the shift from following orders and serving your country to serving what matters most. And that is you, your health, your family, and the legacy that you want to build in the future. Okay? So we're going to do a little exercise here in a couple minutes about your why, but we need to sit down for a couple minutes, write it down on a sheet of paper, define your why, and anchor your goals within that why. Why do you want to be healthier? Why do you want to lose fat? Why do you want to be more confident, more energized? It's not just to feel better and look better. That's very surface level. Dig deeper into those emotions. Who do you want to be in the future? Okay. Rediscovering what your purpose is in life. Okay. And then figuring out how do you want to lead other people, if it's your family, if it's your employees, if it's setting a good example for your boss, whatever it is, figure out who you want to be in the future. Because you're not done serving, guys. You're just serving in a new way. Okay. And without that identity, if you're not clear on who you want to be and why you want to be this person, okay, without that identity, structure feels completely pointless and the discipline feels like punishment versus a plan. Okay. So that's the first step. The second step is going to be to rebuild that structure for yourself. Okay. We're talking about building momentum, not relying on motivation. Okay. Because civilians can rely on motivation. Veterans need a system. They need a process. They need a plan. They need something to follow. Okay. Because the military gave you that structure and you probably thrived off of that structure. Okay. But now it's time for you to build that for yourself. So you don't need the 4 a.m. wake up calls. You don't need the 5 mile runs every day. You don't need the intensity anymore. You need a simple mission based routine that you can repeat over and over and over, even on your bad days. Okay. So the focus here is daily movement. Okay. We're talking about how to fuel our body properly with the right foods to support our energy and our mindset and our fat loss goals. Okay. We need to be recovering properly. So a lot of you I know struggle with sleep. So that's one thing that we got to figure out how to get better at. Okay. Get off your phone. Stop staying up late. Okay. And then also incorporating some daily healthy habits, like I said, that you can repeat even on your busy days, which we're going to talk about in a minute. Okay. The goal here, guys, is to replace the chaos that you have going on in your life with a repeatable system. Does not have to be perfect every single day. That's not logical, but you are able to be consistent. Okay. And the mindset shift here, guys, is structure is going to create that momentum. Okay. I would rather you go out for a 15-minute walk every day for the next 14 days than go to the gym 3 times for 2 hours. Because now you're sore, now you're tired, now you're not going to be motivated to go back. But it's pretty easy to go for a 15-minute walk every day, right? Especially if you have a dog. I got a dog, I go for a walk 5 times a day. That's easy for me. Okay. Because if you can create that momentum and create that consistency, the confidence that it's working will start to snowball. And then it just gets easier and easier and easier. Okay. Step number 3, this is the last step here, is going to be to reconnect with somebody. Okay. You need accountability. You cannot do this on your own. It is so much harder to do it on your own. I'm a personal trainer and I've been working out pretty much my entire life, in different ways because I have different goals that change. But I also have a personal trainer because he pushes me, he keeps me accountable, and he reminds me of what my goals are and my why. Why am I trying to do this? Right? If you are alone, it's going to kill your progress because being part of a tribe or a community is going to restore that progress and that sense of I belong and I'm ready for this. Like I'm actually motivated to do this now. Okay. So you need people who actually understand who you are, your mindset challenges, and the mission you're trying to accomplish. Okay. So like I said earlier, guys, accountability and asking for help and reaching out to someone to keep you accountable is not a weakness. It's actually a multiplier. It's going to accelerate you into who you want to be. Okay? So the main goal here, guys, is to build a support system that's going to hold you up to your standards. Okay? If your standard is I want to be able to run a mile in under 6 minutes, that's a great goal, right? And that's something that you can continue to work on. If your goal is to lose 30 pounds over the next 6 months, that's going to be really, really hard if you're constantly thinking about the end result. But if you start thinking about what can I do today that's going to contribute to my long-term goal, then you're going to be you're going to be winning every single day. Okay? So reconnect with someone, ask a friend, ask your spouse, ask your gym buddy, get someone who is going to hold you accountable and push you where you want it. Okay? All right. We're going to go through some action steps, 3 action steps you can start taking today. Okay. If any of this stuff is resonating with you guys and you need to get back onto a routine to feel healthier, to look better, these are 3 realistic steps that you can start implementing today. So I would take out a sheet of paper and a pencil or a pen and write this stuff down. Okay. The first one is going to be to define your why. Okay. Not your life purpose, but what is your next mission? Is it to lose 20 pounds? Is it to get a job? Is it to get a promotion? Is it like, what is it that you're wanting to get out of life in the next 30 to 90 days? Okay. And write that out. It's not a forever plan. It's just your next step. Okay. So ask yourself, if I got my body back, my energy back, my discipline back, right? What would that allow me to show up for better? Myself, my mindset, my kids, my spouse, my job, right? Because now we're thinking about, who am I serving? What kind of person do I want to be remembered as? What kind of role model do I want to be for my kids or my grandkids, right? We're starting to think long term here, not just over the next 6 to 12 months, but like, do you want to be able to make it to your grandkids' graduation? Do you want to be 80 years old and still be able to play a full round of golf, which my grandpa can? And it drives me crazy because I've been golfing for the last couple of years and he still kicks my ass every single time. And I'm like, dude, you're so old and out of shape. Like, why are you doing this? But it's because he has a healthy routine that he does every single day. And he looks like he's 60 years old, but he's actually 80, which is crazy. He's not super out of shape. He's got a little bit of a gut, but he is energized and motivated and he's out there every day. And he also lives in Florida, so he has a tan. So, but like, that's the type of person that I want to be, right? And the longer you wait to become that person or start that journey, the harder it's going to be. Okay. Right now is the easiest time to start because you are the youngest right now than you'll ever be again. Okay. So figure out what your next mission is, write it down, start taking some daily action to contribute to that plan. Okay. The next step you guys can start taking is to lock in a daily reset. Okay. So I'm going to give you guys some action steps here. I want you to choose 3 non-negotiables. Okay. Going to the bathroom in the morning is a non-negotiable. Okay. Maybe taking a shower, washing your face, or eating breakfast. Like, those are some things that you don't even think about that have to be part of your daily routine. Okay. Because discipline comes back through repetition, not how intense you can make it. Okay. So don't overthink this, but for the next 7 to 14 days, I want you to pick 3 non-negotiables that you can hit every single day without failure, even on your busy, chaotic days. Okay. So one of those could be to move your body. That could be a 20-minute walk in the morning or a 20-minute walk in the afternoon or both, right? Hitting the gym for 20 minutes. Okay. It doesn't have to be a 2 hour long crazy thing, but go to the gym, lift weights for 10 to 15 minutes, walk on the treadmill for 10 minutes, and then go home. I'd rather you do that 5 times a week than try to go to the gym twice a week for 2 hours and it'd be really, really intense. And now you're sore for a couple days. I know I said that already, but I want to say it again. Okay. Or do some yoga at home, do some push-ups, do some squats, go for a half a mile run. Just do something to contribute to your body every day. And what I would suggest, guys, is schedule it. I've got a big calendar on my desk right here, 10 a.m., 7 Eagle Group presentation. Okay. But this morning I went for a swim. This afternoon, my wife and I are going to go for a long walk with my dog. But these are the things that I'm able to actually repeat on a daily basis without it adding to the chaos. Okay? The second thing is going to be fueling your body with intention. We're not just eating because we're hungry, or we're not just stopping off at McDonald's because it's easy and cheap. We need to start thinking about fueling our body with intention, okay? To have more energy and to have more clarity. Okay, so my biggest tip with food, guys, is eating more protein. That's not just for muscle gain, that's also for fat loss and energy levels. Okay, if you weigh 150 pounds or if you weigh 200 pounds, you should, without a doubt, every day be getting at least 100 grams of protein in your system. So start being more mindful about how much protein you're eating. It's easy. Look on the little thing. It says 10 grams right there. Eat it. Now you're at 10 grams. You got to hit 100 grams a day, every day without fail, minimum. Okay. Another one is drinking more water. Okay. I know water can get boring, but if you add a little bit of lemon or cucumber, or I know they have like some of those hydration packs you can add to it, that makes it a lot easier to drink. But 2 liters of water every day, okay, which is probably more than double than what most people drink. But if you can eat more protein and drink more water, your energy will skyrocket, your cravings will go down, and you're going to start losing body fat supernaturally. Okay. The last one that I love is your mental reset. Okay, so in the my mental reset is in the morning, right? I get like 30 minutes to an hour of super quiet time in the morning where I can pray, I can read my Bible a little bit, I do some breath work, I do some journaling, write down my daily goals or a checklist of things I need to get done. Okay? Get off your phone, eliminate the noise. I listen. I have headphones. I listen to like calming music while I'm trying to be in my quiet time. Okay, but set some goals and then visualize yourself actually executing those goals. If it's going for a 15-minute walk, great. Write it down. Okay, then in 30 minutes when you're ready to go, put your shoes on and go. Okay, because the rules here, guys, is not about being perfect every single day. It's not about being intense, okay? It's about building that realistic discipline through being consistent, okay? I don't know how many of you guys have ever signed up for like a 90-day challenge or a diet plan or anything like that. It might have worked for you for sure, but then once the diet plan was over or the 90-day challenge was over, most people don't know how to continue that lifestyle, so they fall right back to their old habits and then they gain the weight back, right? If we're able to consistently stick with these non-negotiables, you don't have to sign up for a diet ever again or sign up for a 90-day challenge. You are going to always be moving forward in your health and fitness because you know what you're doing now. Okay? As you can tell, I'm very passionate about this. Okay. The third and last one, guys, here is going to be to reconnect with somebody. Okay. That was part of the TruFit method script earlier. Okay. But before you try to fix anything or try to add a bunch of stuff to your plan, find someone to keep you accountable. Reach out to someone from your old unit, from the gym, your spouse, someone who's going to understand you, and say something simple like, "Hey, like I'm trying to. These are my goals. I'm trying to I'm trying to like stay on track. I would love if you can keep me accountable. Send me a text, give me a call once a week, check in with me. Please help me do this because this is what I need." Okay? Because being connected with someone, guys, and having structure and having that accountability um, is gonna kill that isolation, and it's gonna put you in the mindset you needed to continue to move forward. Cool. All right, real quick. Um, Lastly, I want to talk about why this matters, guys, and then I want to show you some veterans who have worked with me in the past. Because if a lot of you are thinking about like, oh, this is really something that I really need, or this is something that I could get into, I'm gonna offer you guys something at the end here that a lot of you might want to take advantage of. Okay. So why this matters, guys, because your family does not need a stressed out veteran or survivor. They need a steady leader. Okay. Your boss needs someone who's going to be energized and show up. And if you're in sales, no one's going to want to buy from you if they can tell you're not passionate or into it or energized or like actually invested in what you're selling. Okay. Because your family needs someone who's in control, who's present with what's going on in their lives, and he can lead with clarity and strength instead of burnout and frustration. Okay? There are times in my life, there are series of my life where I feel a little burnt out or frustrated with certain things, either in my business or my personal life, but that's okay. I take a step back, I breathe a little bit, and I start to think about what are some realistic action steps I can start taking to move forward here. It's okay to slow down and it's okay to start thinking about a plan that you can follow. Okay? Because when that structure and that purpose returns, your energy and your clarity and your confidence to fully show up for yourself and for your kids and for your work, it's going to come back. Okay? Because your legacy did not end when you transitioned out. Okay? You now have the opportunity to create a life for yourself so that you can live longer, leave stronger, and model discipline and resilience for your family and for your coworkers. And actually, a big goal of TruFit is so that we can start, creating a life for ourselves that we can pass on to the next generation. Okay. I want this world to be healthier, happier, in a more positive mindset. Right now, things are going on that is not amazing for mental health, and I think it's really on us now to switch that so that the next generation knows what it's they can see what it's like to actually live a healthier, longer lifestyle. Okay, because it's not about looking good. It's just about staying in control of your life. Okay. So real quick, guys, Terry here, the top left, he's a veteran and he's about to turn 70 years old, but he completely lost control of his structure and his lifestyle, and just he kind of fell into a little depression. He joined the TruFit Academy with my one-to-one coaching. We built him that sustainable system that best fit his life, and he lost 35 pounds in roughly 6 months. Okay. Regained his energy, regained his posture, a lot more confidence now, and he's doing a half Ironman on his 70th birthday, which is nuts. He hasn't done a triathlon in probably 10 years. But this TruFit method completely switched over his life, and now he's got the motivation and energy to do something that he loves. Okay. Nisa on the bottom left is also a veteran who joined the TruFit Academy. And she's a mom of three, and she's a real estate agent. So between the kids and her job and her husband and all this kind of stuff and transitioning out, she felt completely depressed and lost in terms of her health. But after we implemented that TruFit method into her lifestyle, she found her purpose again, lost 40 pounds, and her leadership in her family as a mom and in her career was restored, and it was just incredible. So I love sharing stories like this, guys, because these are real stories, and a lot of veterans do struggle with this type of stuff. The four people on the right are not veterans, but they are people who joined the TruFit Academy because they needed help with their health and with their lifestyle. Okay. And as you can see, in the course of 3 to 6 months, a lot of them saw incredible results. They're a lot happier, their posture is better, and they're finally able to move forward with their healthy lifestyle. Okay. All right. Last thing I want to say, guys, real quick. When I came on with Seven Eagle Group and I started doing presentations like this, I started realizing a lot of veterans have been reaching out and asking about getting more involved and getting involved with TrueFit and getting some more accountability and structure in their lifestyle. So what me and my team did was we created a veteran online community. Okay, it's only been going on for the last 4 months or so, but we've got quite a number of people in there now, learning and starting to implement some of the strategies that TrueFit really likes to capitalize on. And as you just saw, a lot of them are seeing really amazing results. Okay, so you don't have to do this alone. TrueFit, we built this community because we want you guys to reconnect with people and rebuild that structure, rebuild that clarity, and get the accountability that you need. Okay. So in the community, guys, we provide that structure for you. We give you the clear workout routines that we build for you based off of your goals, your body type, and your schedule. Okay. We set some expectations for you. We give you the system so for you to rebuild that discipline and that energy and that confidence back into your life. Okay. Um, Again, we're not relying on motivation, guys. We are going to keep you accountable. Okay, where I'm not going to be down your throat about doing everything perfect every single day, but like once or twice a week, I'm going to check in on you to be like, hey, how was your walk? How was the gym? Like, how are you feeling energy wise? Are you losing a pound or two this last week? Right? What's going on? Because you're going to be supported by men and women who actually understand you and want to hold you to your standards. Okay, no egos, nothing crazy, just support and shared purpose in the community. Okay. And lastly, guys, we want to give you some clarity. Yeah, we want to help you reach your goals and figure out the system, But also, we want to help you make sure that you understand the system so that when you do reach your goals, you know how to maintain them for life. Okay, so we give you the healthy lifestyle habits, we give you the recipes, we give you the long term mindset strategies to keep you on track, motivated, so that you continue to see long term results. Okay, so that's the community we built. Um, I really hope over this presentation, guys, some of those action steps we talked about, some of the daily non negotiables we talked about, is going to give you some structure and just give you some sort of plan moving forward so that you can feel better, you can look better, and you can actually move forward in your life and have purpose again. Okay. All right. Quick Q&A. Um, which I'd love to answer any of your questions about nutrition, health, the community. But if you guys want to reach out to me just to ask me questions about TruFit, or if you have questions about the veteran community, please scan this QR code here and we can book a call. More than happy to chat with you guys and seeing just what ways can I help you. Okay.
Hey Johnny, thanks. I actually do have a question. You talked about, trying to figure out your purpose, and I know that a lot of us as veterans struggle with that. Do you have any recommendations beyond you talked about like 30 to 90 days, but do you have any other recommendations for that specifically?
For your purpose?
Yes.
Okay.
Like how to find it.
Yeah. So we actually have some trainings in the veteran community specifically for this. So I'm going to quickly touch on that. But if you want to join the community, you can watch the training. A lot of this has to do with identifying your strengths that you had while you were serving, but did not contribute to the serving, if that makes any sense. So, like, um, are you a people person? Do you like helping people? Like, what are your strengths outside of the military or outside of service, right? Because those are the things that we can capitalize on and then start applying in other areas of our life, right? Like for me, I love helping people. I've been helping people ever since I was 6 years old. Just like even as a kid, I'd be like, "Hey, let's try this," or "Let's try that," or I'll be motivating people. It wasn't until I got to college when I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually turn this into a career. That's crazy. I can make money from this. That's nuts, right? So that became my purpose, just helping people, right? And I think we're all put onto this planet to provide our skills in some way. So figure out what those skills are, capitalize on it, and then figure out how you can move forward in helping other people with that skill. Okay. Um, in the training that we did about mindset and purpose and identity and things like that that's in the community, I had a mindset coach come in, Phil Reynolds, and he gave this incredible presentation with a PDF that you guys are able to download with some action steps that you guys can start taking to identify who you are, what your why is, and how we can move forward with a new purpose. Okay, but I would first try to write down some of your strengths, and it could be anything, right? It doesn't have to be about serving other people. It could be I'm good at dishes, or I'm good at whatever. But figure out what that is first, and then figure out how you can apply that in your career and with your family.
Thanks, Johnny. Andrea, I think you were next.
Hi, Andrea.
Hey, how's it going? I don't have a question, but I just kind of want to more share my experience as far as weight loss. Before I joined the military in 2022, and I couldn't join later in life, so I was not as active. And basically, I had to lose weight. I went from like maybe 220 down to 149. It took like 10 months. And what I did was I was like working out like 5 to 7 days a week. I was running like 4 miles. I was doing like a 1,200 calorie diet. I wouldn't eat certain things such as bread, and I would just eliminate a lot of things. I eat both like fish and chicken and vegetables and stuff like that. But the way I did it, I was not able to keep it up because that's not a normal way of eating. So I gained a lot of weight back. But over the last couple months, I've been practicing more of a natural way of, something I can maintain. So I've been doing it for the last couple, 3, 4 months, and I've lost like 20 some pounds. And my thing I take away from it is basically learning your body. Everybody's body is different. What works for me might not work for you. So when you learn your body and another thing, mainly moderation, because there's certain things I don't want to give up, and just you don't have to just give up everything, just everything in proportion, moderation. I feel like when you learn your body and what works for you, and in moderation, it'll help you.
Yeah, Andrew, that's amazing. Thank you so much. Congratulations on your weight loss journey and getting into the journey of learning how to understand your body and figuring out what works and what doesn't work. Um, that's a really amazing mindset approach that you took to it because it is about moderation. In my opinion, on workout days and on busy days, I kind of focus on those simple healthy habits I'm able to repeat, like eating more protein, drinking more water, go on some walks, things like that. But I also, again, try to fuel myself properly: chicken, steak, rice, vegetables, fruit, Greek yogurt. I love all those things, right? Um, but I also love cookies, right? So like those are the things that I'm gonna want to have at least once or twice a week, right? And that's okay. Like if I have a cookie or two, I'm not gonna gain 3 pounds of fat. It just doesn't work that way. But I also like to have that balanced lifestyle. I'm working out hard, I'm eating with intent, but also I'm rewarding myself for my hard work, right? So if we can get into a lifestyle like that, obviously the good needs to outweigh the bad, right? But if we can stay on track that way and have that balanced lifestyle, there's no reason why you should go backwards in your journey, right? And my mindset is if I could just be 1% better every single day, then over the course of 6 months to a year, I'm going to see huge results. And you never really see results on a day to day basis, right? It's like you work out, you walk, you eat healthy. 5 days later, you're like, wow, I look the exact same and I feel the exact same. This isn't working, right? But nothing's going to change after 5 days. You gotta do something for at least 2 weeks consistently before you start to see anything. Then once you start seeing the results, now it's like, oh, this is working. Now I have motivation to keep on going. So, Andrew, thank you so much for sharing that. That was really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. Emily?
Yes, good morning, Johnny. Thank you for
Hi.
being with us.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here too. How can I help?
Yes, I had some questions for you. I did send you a LinkedIn, so I think we can continue more in depth, but just a couple things real quick. You said you got your degree in kinesiology. Did you major in one of the three subcategories, or did you just have a generalized kinesiology? For example, there's a concentration in physical activity leadership.
Yeah, I got my concentration in strength conditioning.
Oh, okay.
Or in technically it's sport conditioning because I got my minor in coaching as well. So kinesiology was the major, and then I got a focus in sport conditioning.
Okay.
Because I used to work with a lot of athletes. I was a collegiate swimmer for a while. So my first few clients when I first started TruFit were mostly athletes, right? Who are like,
Mhm.
they are super intense about everything. But once I started working with men and women in their 30s and 40s, I started to realize that not a lot of them are super intense. They're more thinking about how can I lose weight and create a healthy lifestyle, right? And I feel like most people are around that type of topic. So that's when my TruFit kind of transitioned from super intense athletes, which I do still have, right? I've got the one client who's training for a half Ironman. So his routine is pretty dialed in. But I've got other clients who are working out maybe 3 times a week. Um, they're going out every weekend. They don't like cooking. So there's a lot of different things that we try to customize for them, but it's really us building a plan that's going to fit your life, right?
Mhm.
Because I can't give you a plan for that I made for Ted and then give it to you, Emily, right? Because it's not going to
Right.
work.
Right.
Um, yeah. Did you have was that a question because you were thinking about kinesiology as well, or what?
Yes. Yes.
That's great. That's
Yes. So
awesome.
I grew up ballet dancing. That was one of my majors in community college before I joined the Air Force. And ever since I've been in the Air Force, now I'm going to retire. But every place I've been to, I've consistently found a dance studio to plug myself into So I'm a little rusty, but I still have that ability to go into a dance class. And I've always been asked if I wanted to teach. So I would teach as a volunteer and be part of their staff, but I never really got certified and have a degree in that realm. So I was curious on what the official way is to get those certifications and what degree program I should look at.
Yeah. I'm sorry, did you say for yoga?
Yoga is one. I can do yoga as well. Yes.
Okay.
So, and that was going to be my second question. What certification programs do you recommend? Because I've been finding stuff, like yoga and Zumba, and recently Shine Dance. They all have certifications for instructors. But I know there's an overarching umbrella that's bigger than those specific um, companies, like AFA, NASM, and ACE. What are your recommendations to get
Yeah.
certified?
Okay. So I got my kinesiology degree back when I thought I was going to be a college coach. Because that was my initial plan. I wanted to be a swim coach for a university, right? That's why I got my kinesiology degree. But then when I moved up here to Colorado, I realized that I like personal training more. Um, Plus, I think it makes a little bit more money, and so that's why I was like, I live in Colorado, and I'm young, and I'm poor, and I need money, and so that's what I was gonna do, right? Um, Now looking back on it, I mean, I love the kinesiology information that I learned because I apply it to my business, but it's not like I have to have it, right? It's not like a requirement for anything, but it helps, right? If you're gonna be getting paid as a coach in a facility of some kind, there are different levels, right? So if you have a certification, you're level one. If you have a certification and a degree, you're level two. And then if you have continuing education, you're level three. And each level, you're able to charge more and more and more and more, just depending on how much you have, right? For yoga and for other things like that, I mean, you can just get the certification and then go teach. And then you can always do continuing education, which is so much cheaper than getting a degree to level up to get paid more, right? When I got certified as a trainer, I went through NASM because it's the most popular. ACE is also amazing. I think it's a little bit cheaper than NASM, but NASM is like the most recognized platform for trainers and for coaches and for certifications and things like that. Okay.
Mhm.
I also know I don't know much about ACE, but I know NASM has like a dual thing. Like you can get certified in yoga or personal training and get certified like in nutrition or stretching, right? Like they have combo type deals that you could pay for. Um, did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you so much.
Okay, great. Awesome. Good, cool.
Hey, Johnny, thanks for everything today. Really appreciate your time and all the information you provided. Uh, and unless you've got anything else for the crowd, I think that about wraps us up because we're about out of time.
All right. Well, Ted, thank you so much for having me. Everyone else who was on the call, thank you so much for being here. Good luck with everything. Good luck on your skill bridge, your transition. I posted if you guys want to connect with me on LinkedIn, I post stuff all the time about the group and about other help, tips and stuff. But if you guys have any questions at all or want to talk a little bit about the presentation or about the community that we have, please book a call with me or send me a message on LinkedIn and we can chat more about that, okay?
Thanks, Johnny.